For our next design, we're going to use a clear vase and attach an armature to the top of it. Now the armature I've made ahead of time is made out of curly willow, but it could be made out of almost any twigs from any tree or flexible material. It could even be wire, little copper tubing, or stems of flowers actually can make some nice armatures as well. And I've bound the armature together with something called bind wire, and it comes in a roll like this. You could easily also use raffia or twine or almost anything that you can twist and or tie together to make the armature. So to get it to stay on the vase, and this is going to become part of the mechanics as well as the aesthetics of it, I'm going to use a couple of 3 pieces of the bind wire and attach it to the vase neck first. So I'm just twisting it, and then another piece. And I always like to do 3 if it's possible. So now these then will become the attaching points for the armature. The armature then will just sit on top, bringing your bind wire through. Give it a twist in one spot, and then find a nice strong branch for a second attachment. And then your third one, just kind of an insurance policy to make sure it's all going to stay in place. This again is a natural mechanic in that the vase can be used several times. I need to get an ink pen here, sorry for the delay, and use my bind wire as part of the aesthetics of the design as well. I'm just twisting it around an ink pen or a small twig or something so that it looks like it's tendrils. This can also help when you're inserting the flowers. You can actually twist these tendrils around the stems of your flowers if need be to help stabilize them. Oops, missed one. Okay. Now I think I'm ready to start inserting the flowers. Starting with my hydrangea, again I'm going to take off most of the leaves except the ones just under the head so that it doesn't draw the water away from the flower. Fresh cut on the stem if it's been sitting out any length of time, and then I'm going to work that into the vase using the willow kind of as a support structure there. So, you know, before you even start this design, the willow armature is interesting to look at. Now I'm going to start with my other large flower, which is the rose. This is a variety called Voodoo. Careful of the thorns. There are thorns all along the stem on these. Just as a little bit of an accent for color and texture. Again, the armature becomes part of the support structure here as I insert these. Make sure you have a nice sharp slant cut on your stem. Maybe a cluster of 3 here. Ooh, big thorn. Pull this up. Actually, I think I'll switch that flower and put the larger one there. Nice, strong, vibrant color contrast there. And then let's use a couple of the ornamental peppers. This is a nice texture contrast because this is very smooth and shiny, and everything in here so far is kind of satiny in its texture. So this will be a nice texture contrast. And let's turn it right here, seems to be a very logical place. A little bit of a blank spot. Incorporate visually those two other flowers. So it's just a little. So I'm going to make sure the pepper goes over into or next to the roses. There we go. That color doesn't go so well with the hydrangea, but it really looks nice over here with the roses. So I'm going to use some of the Matsumoto asters kind of as a line that comes up next to the roses. And kind of frames underneath them. The Matsumotos have a facing to them that allows you to do that. And then maybe one or two of the green ball dianthus. Like that color contrast of green with maybe even just one there. And then a couple of pieces of English ivy. Now the ivy, obviously the stem has to go into the water, but I'm going to kind of weave it into the armature too, so that it looks like it might be growing on it. And use the bind wire tendrils. Just kind of wrap it around the stem. And let's put the other one in that same location. Bring that up and around and through again, strengthening that line. Again, I'm just using the bind wire tendril that I had earlier. Pull that up. I think I need one more aster on the back side. Just to fill that up a little bit. And so now looking at this from the design standpoint, we've got this wonderful color combination, different heights, different variations, but strong line that goes through with the willow and then the English ivy that kind of is a counterflow to that. So, and there we have our finished second design.